making this video right now?
Because you made a comment about her voice.
Is this song really remarkable?
You have to use this now.
Can you turn it down? I think I've heard enough. But
You don't like it?
no, I'm not a big fan of this
Why?
one. I mean, music is music, but you know that's sometimes a song. You know, once you heard it once, you've heard it 1,000 times.
What do you mean?
I don't know. It's the voice too. It's the voice. Is it just me, or are there a lot of artists that kind of sound like her now, female vocalists? No, that's not quite it.
What is it?
Well, what's she singing? Let me hear what she's. Stars, stars, you're beautiful. Stars, you're beautiful. It sounds like it's a cat fed through a vacuum, fed through a flute. Stars, you're beautiful. Stars, you're beautiful. Do stars say you're beautiful? Anyway. Yeah, you happy? You happy with that one?
Yeah, that's pretty funny.
Yeah. But do you notice, it's either that voice or it's the other one.
The airy one?
It's the 99% breath and 1% voice.
I don't know how to do that.
Voice sound. It's like the
That doesn't sound bad.
of course it doesn't sound bad, it's like that whispery kind of like it's like a light draping over your ears, but it doesn't sound bad. It's just, after everybody starts to sound like that, then you don't have really your own voice anymore.
Yeah.
So I think,
Why is it so popular?
it's just the way that people manipulate their own voices. There are a few singers that can do that, and I think
And it's actually their voice.
end up no. I mean, few singers that can actually do that, where it sounds good. And then, for instance, y'all know who that is. That's your Eddie Vedder. But then you get all these imposters who came afterwards, including the dude from Creed, our favorite, Scott Stapp. We hold wide open, right?
And then Nickelback.
And got the well, he's got a kind of nice, like, raspy thing. I'm not a big fan of their songs as far as like, their songwriting being
What about Matchbox 20?
fresh or anything, but Matchbox. I wanna push you around. Well, I will. I'm maybe exaggerating just a tad. And then you got the Hootie. I don't wanna be with you. I don't wanna be with you. Yeah, not bad, right?
It's pretty good.
Ellen was very surprised because she didn't know who Hootie was when I showed her
I knew who they were.
picture
I knew
of
their
him.
music, but I didn't know what they looked like.
She didn't know that Hootie was not a white man.
I imagine a white person.
Yeah. I don't want to be you. I'm a little too good at that, I think. He does. Last I heard, he does country music now.
I think he's solo, yeah.
Yeah, good for him. Yeah. So after Eddie Vedder, everybody else, I think it just starts to sound kind of derivative, and the female vocalist that is the 99% breath, 1% voice thing. I think I got tired of that a few years ago. And who are examples of that right now? I don't know. Just like it's all over the place.
The girl who won
every indie Bandcamp, SoundCloud girl from LA sounds like that. You know, or LA or New York. It's always LA or New York. You know,
I expected a little bit more from New York if that's the case.
Yeah. Are there any other voices?
They're not from New York.
Well, they say they're from New York, right? But they really moved there from where?
I don't know.
Cincinnati.
Yeah, maybe.
Where else?
Kansas.
Kansas. Why Kansas?
Because it's like in the middle of
Are there any other derivative voices these days besides the vacuum voice? Do you know who the original vacuum voice is? I got that description from a friend. Shout out to Pat, but he called Macy Gray a vacuum cleaner.
Oh,
Macy, what was it? What? I try to say goodbye and I can't, or choke. When I stumble like this, right? But I try to hide it. It's clear. Crumbles when it's a perfect for crumbles when you are not near. Yeah. Sounds like. The bedroom is really dusty. Isn't it? Isn't it like a vacuum cleaner?
Is that a vacuum cleaner?
I think it is. So we're back in Cali now. It doesn't feel like home to me yet. Does it feel like home to you?
Yes.
Oh, okay. Ellen adjusts quickly, I think. I'm a slow adjuster. But, back on the West Coast. Friend in Boston does that all the time. Where's that from?
Baby Mama.
Baby Mama. What's Baby Mama?
It's a movie with Tina Fey and Amy Poehler where Amy Poehler is supposed to be Tina Fey's surrogate, and Amy Poehler's character does that when she was at a Lamaze class, and the Lamaze class was supposed to be like very au natural type of atmosphere and culture, and then the Lamaze instructor said, who is going to learn these breathing techniques and deliver their baby naturally? And everybody raises their hand, and then she says something like, who's going to use drugs to suppress the natural feeling of birth? And then Amy Poehler goes, ooh, ooh.
Oh.
She was the only one who did that. Like, raised her hand.
Okay.
Not music related, but you asked, so.
That's fine. We never gave our Radiohead concert review. You know?
Oh, yeah.
Ellen, what was your favorite part of Radiohead at TD Garden Night 1?
I really enjoyed the lights.
The lights?
I think the light show. I mean, aside from the music, obviously, I think the light show was amazing. The graphics were amazing.
Yeah.
We had really good spots.
We
so
did.
We got to
yeah.
see a whole lot of stuff. The crowd, the area that we were standing in, everybody around us, it was just a chill group. I think that it was probably the most chill group that I've been at at any musical concert. There's always something with people who are standing in front or back on the side, like either someone's talking or they're always on their phone.
Yeah.
But this group was probably like the best out of all of the.
Well, they're all there for the music, right?
I mean, we were all there for the music for Lauryn Hill, and then we thought
not everyone there was all for the music.
We thought no one was sitting in front of us, so everyone else was, and then two people came later, and then we didn't know,
Yeah.
They were all about the music, but they were about themselves more, I guess.
Yeah. So at Lauryn Hill, cool. Busta Rhymes was there.
Yeah.
He had some choice words for Donald Trump. And then MIA came on. She was great.
Yeah,
Her dancers
awesome.
were great. And then by the time Lauryn Hill came on, some new people, joined us. Before they came in, we had one lady who was doing some jungle dancing.
She wasn't bothering anyone.
She wasn't bothering anyone.
Yeah.
But she took up about 7 or 8 seats worth of width with her jungle dancing. It was awesome. She had some parachute, flowy pants on, took her shoes off.
Yeah.
Right? It was a dress. She took her shoes off. She went barefoot. Started jungle. I don't know how to describe it other than it was jungle dance.
It was whole body dance.
It was whole body, side to side.
Like forward, arching.
Yeah, it was like she was so into it. Like, and Lauryn Hill didn't even start yet.
Yeah.
Lauryn Hill didn't even start yet. It was cool. It was the 20th anniversary of her album, Miseducation. Her true 20th anniversary is coming up later this month. That album. What a crazy album. That 20 years later, it still matters, it's still relevant, it still sounds good, And she didn't have another album after that, which is like, unless you count the MTV Unplugged. And she had a cold and she's still singing in that one. It was amazing. Anyway, OK Computer is another example of a 20-year album that it sounds just as good as when it came out, and it just ages well. Certain things don't age well musically, like stars say you're beautiful. Certain things don't age well. You can tell. You could just tell.
Terrible.
But yeah, those 2 ladies came, young women, I should say. And what were they doing exactly?
They just had their phones out the whole time, but everything was dark, so their screens were really bright.
Yeah.
And they held it up. It wasn't like they're trying to be discreet. It was like
up. And it wasn't of Lauryn Hill. They had the cameras on themselves.
Yeah, they were Snapchatting.
They were Snapchatting, Instagram, living.
Had filters on.
Filters and what were some of those cute faces they made?
I can't do it right now.
Yeah, it's like kind of like one of those,
No, it's the angle.
The
you gotta do the angle, yeah.
one of the angles. Yeah. Just I don't enjoy Radiohead like that,
Well, yeah. I mean, I don't think you would enjoy anything like that. Any music experience like that. And they weren't being so distracting that they weren't being so like loud about it that you would be like, hey, excuse me, can you put it away? They were in their own bubble. They weren't touching anybody.
They weren't physically bothering anyone. It was just the light and it was just kind of
right
like
in front of us.
Right in front. Yeah, it's kind of I just and then when it was over, they were like, That's it? And in my head, I was just like, yeah, you missed it.
Pretty much.
You basically missed it. But anyway, at Radiohead, everyone was super chill, right? Everyone was super chill. Yeah. Everyone was into the music. Everyone was super into it.
I appreciated the people who came really early. And they got the railing section.
Especially David. Shout out to David. Which is
well deserved. And then when people are in the back, they'll like check them. Like, hey, no flash, turn down the flash, or like stop pushing. Like that was nice. Like something that only experienced, I think, concert goers would be comfortable saying, because they're they know what it's like. But for someone like myself who's not that comfortable, like
get one lane over, it's gonna merge.
I think it was nice to be part of their bubble.
Yeah, well, also just people who are assertive and they kind of know what they want their space and around them to be like.
Right.
2 years ago at Shrine, there was a little older lady and some kind of big guy tried to like get in front, and And she just pushed him back and said, "No!" I was like, wow, that's great. I wish I were that assertive. No! It was great. But yeah, everyone was so into it, right?
Yeah.
Like, everyone around us was just like, in amazement, singing all the lyrics, and Tom was right. We're right between Tom and Johnny, right?
Yeah.
We were one row back from the rail, and it was just like you could see Johnny with doing these insane things. He's on Street Spirit. He's got the guitar, and he's playing the keyboard with the head of his guitar at the same time. He's doing all these crazy things with the Chaos Pad. He's doing things on piano, playing like, 3 against 2, 3 against 2, 101 South, yeah. He's doing 3 against 2 on Daydreaming. He's doing all these things, and I'm like watching the guy do it. And then once he's done, he just like does this crazy solo or whatever, and he just like song stops, and his expression doesn't change. He'll like they play 2 + 2 = 5, and he was like, and he'll just stop, and his expression is the same, and yeah, like the lights were great because they also had a camera on everybody, right? That was really cool. You got it.
They had that at the shrine too.
Yeah, like you could see everybody. Everybody was into it. Like all the band members seemed really into it.
Yeah, they seemed really
Clive now looks like Heisenberg. I saw that comment online. But yeah, the people had a lot of great things to say, especially when we found a thread on it from Reddit. There was just one critique I will agree with. I saw online, somebody else posted. I don't know which username it is, so I can't give them credit, but they said that during All I Need, the cymbals were a little low in the mix. I would agree with that just because I'm really passionate about All I Need. It's such a great song. So great. And the end is the climax, it's wrong, it's right. And you have that from Phil in the recording. And TD Garden, it wasn't as climactic as I wanted it to be, but it's still so great, so great. And Tom's voice, how did Tom's voice sound?
Like, what do you mean, like the
quality
the
of it? The quality of it. Could you hear his voice?
Yeah, it sounds like a recording. It sounds like there was, but it's him live, so
He's
it's really pretty amazing.
And there was another comment on Reddit said like, I'm starting to think that they just hit play on a recording, because how does a band sound that good? They keep getting better. I already said this 2 years ago after the Shrine Auditorium show, night 1 in LA. But like, they keep getting better. So it's just very inspiring. I was telling Ellen, it just made me feel like I need to really finish my album. If there's anybody still watching, it's 19 minutes into this video now. But if anybody's still watching this video, do we have a code word for them? Secret word?
We can insert a code word.
Yeah, what's the code word left?
Thank you.
What's a code word?
Okay, I don't know. You should come up with it.
The code word is what's the code word? Vacuum. The code word is vacuum.
And then the code song should be,
what?
You should sing a Radiohead song with the vacuum voice, and then they have to say the
You are all I need. You're all I need. Oh, got a lot of dust there. I'm in the middle of the picture. God, I hope no one's watching this around like other people. This is gonna be like the weirdest, socially awkward thing. Okay, but yeah, that's enough. We're almost there. We're almost home. All right, signing off.
Peace.
Peace.